side of truck is from your door all the way back down to your tail lights. Katina, you don't want to do this one. It's a manual truck or automatic truck. You're manual. You want to be on that one.
Okay.
All right. So my door, it opens and it closes. My door hinges, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. My door seal, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. No signs of leaking. My window and window seal, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. No signs of leaking. My mirror bracket, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. My amber light, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has 3 functions: running, turning, and emergency. My steps, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. It's free of dirt, oil, and grease, and it supports my weight. My DEF tank, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, not leaking. Has this cap. The cap's also properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's a rubber gasket on the cap, it's not leaking. My fuel tank, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's not leaking. No signs of illegal welds. It's properly secured with 2 metal straps with rubber linings. My fuel cap, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Not leaking. Inside the cap, there's a rubber gasket with a metal chain. Not cracked, broken, or damaged. Not leaking. Come to the back of my truck. I've got DOT reflective tape. It's clean and reflects light. Now stay on this side. Exhaust, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged, not leaking, no signs of excess soot. Right here, I've got my drive shaft hanger, and my U-joints, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts, and there's no obstructions that got sucked up into my drive shaft. My torque bar, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. My catwalk and steps, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. It's free of dirt, oil, and grease, and it supports my weight. My cross members and frame, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts, and it's free of dirt or free of any signs of illegal welds. My splash guard, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. My spring hanger, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. My leaf spring, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. No signs of stepping. Cause of stepping would be a loose or broken U-bolt. My U-bolts, not cracked, broken, or damaged. No signs of leaking. Jesus Christ. My U-bolts, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Have all their nuts. My hydraulic shock absorber, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Properly secured on the top and on the bottom with bolts and rubber bushings. Has all their nuts and bolts. And the hydraulic shock absorber itself has no signs of leaking. My airbag is properly inflated. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. Properly mounted on the top and on the bottom. Has all of its nuts and bolts. And there's no signs of dry rot and not leaking. My brake chamber, my airlines and ABS line. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged. No signs of leaking, no signs of corrosion. My brake chamber, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts, and it's not leaking. My push rod is not bent. My slack adjuster is properly greased, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. Is properly connected to my push rod with pins and cotter pins. And when my wheel's chocked and my brakes released, I have no more than 1 inch of pull on my slack adjuster. My brake shoes, brake pads, brake linings, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts. It has no less than a 1/4 inch of material. It's free of dirt, oil, and grease. My brake drum, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's also free of dirt, oil, and grease. Work my way back out. These are my dual drive tires. My dual drive tires can be retreaded or remanufactured, can be a different brand, must be the same size, must be evenly worn, must have no less than 2/32 of tread depth. In between my tires, I've got no obstructions that could cause damage to my sidewalls, and my rims are properly butted together. There's no space in between my tires. All right? My tire sidewalls are free of any abrasions, bulges, cuts, or dry rot. My tires are properly seated or properly beaded to my rims. My rims are not cracked, broken, or damaged. No signs of illegal welds. I've got 2 valve stems with caps, one for the outside and one on the inside rim. They're not bent, broken, or damaged. They're not leaking. With an air gauge is where I would check my air pressure and fill it to manufacturer specification. I got 10 lug nuts. They're not loose. Signs of looseness would be rust trails or metal shavings. My axle seal, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has all of its nuts and bolts and is not leaking. Now I would explain this rear axle the same way as I explain this front axle. Gives you an opportunity, right? So make sure you mention it. Explain this axle the same as this axle. Since I'm so good, I don't have to. My mud flap, properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. Has DOT tape that's clean and reflects light and is hung no less than 2 inches from the ground. In the back, I've got 2 red lights. They're properly mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. They have 4 functions: running, turning, emergency, and braking. I've got 1 white light. That is my clear light. That is my reverse light. That concludes my side of truck inspection. So remember, guys, whenever we say side of truck, it goes from your door all the way back to your tail lights and everything in between.